So the month of Damodara, actually, it starts today, but a lot of temples in Vrindavan actually celebrate it or offer ghee lamps from the Sharad Purnima, which is the day, which was yesterday, because it was Krishna's Ras Lila. So that's why they start offering the ghee lamps from yesterday. But the month of Damodara is also known as Kartik Mas. The reason it's also called Kartik is because that's another name of Radharani, Kartikeya, because she is the daughter of Kirtida. So from that, it's become Kartikeya. So that's why it's called Kartik Mas, because this is the month of Radharani. So this month starts today, or as some people celebrated from yesterday, and it finishes on Friday, the 19th of November. And it's the most auspicious and truly benevolent month, for the sukriti obtained by performing devotional activities for the pleasure of the Lord in this month is 1,000 times more than in any other time of the year. The main reason for this is because Krishna is pleased with Radha, and this is actually her special month. This month commemorates how Mother Yashoda was able to bind the Supreme Personality of Goddess Sri Krishna with the ropes of her love and affection. The same Supreme Lord, whom neither Lord Brahma nor Lord Shiva, not even the goddess of fortune Lakshmi Devi, can ever bind, was bound by the selfless, pristine parental love of Mother Yashoda. So we should also, we are also tied up by the material rope of Maya, who is our mother. And so we should pray to our Father Krishna to come and untie the ropes, because it was Nand Baba, Krishna's father, who untied the ropes. So we should also pray to our Father, who is Krishna, to untie these ropes of Maya. So this is just a pictorial form of Yashoda binding Krishna. You can see the expression of Krishna's face, how scared he is. It is in this very month that sweet Krishna performed amazing pastimes of mischief and stealing butter from his own mother, and also feeding the monkeys this delicious butter. Then he displayed transcendental fear from his mother and was running from her, trying to escape her punishment. It's also said that yogis meditate for thousands of years, but they still can't catch the Lord. But Mother Yashoda, because of her love, was able to catch Krishna. After putting her own endeavor and receiving the mercy of the Lord, the two ingredients that a devotee needs in order to bind Shyamsundar, she tied him up to a grinding mortar. So it was her own endeavor and then receiving the mercy of Krishna, which is what we should yearn for. We should endeavor in all our seva, and then we'll receive the mercy of the Lord. Krishna later crawled with a mortar to the Yamal Arjun trees growing in the courtyard of Nand Maharaj and delivered the two sons of Kuber, namely Nal Kuber and Manigriv. This also happened on the day of Diwali, which we'll go into more nearer the time. Remembering this beautiful pastime and hoping to one day be able to tie Damodar with the ropes of love, all the devotees offer ghee lamps in the evening and sing the beautiful Damodar Astakam, creating a very transcendently surcharged atmosphere to attract the minds of the conditioned souls of this material world, make them realize the eternal identity as the servants of Sri Krishna. Jivera Rupa Swarupa Haya Krishnera Nityadas. Devotees actually offer the ghee lamp twice a day, morning and evening, in lots of the temples. This month is also called Urjva Vrat. Urjva means Shakti and refers to Shri Krishna's internal potency, which is none other than Vrindavaneshwari Shri Radha. And thus, she is the predominating deity of this month of Kartik, and the glorification of her transcendental name, fame, forms, and qualities is the main vrat to be performed this month. And because this is Srimati Radharani's month, that's why Krishna is pleased with the devotees who glorify Radharani. This is the month when Sri Radha and other Sakhis sang the Gopi Geet, which is truly relished by the elevated Vaishnavas, following the moods of the young damsels of Braj, whose love for Krishna is unsurpassed, and the foremost of whom is Srimati Radhika. As I said, Kartik is named after Radha, because Radha's mother's name is Kirtida, and so Radha is also Kirtida Kumari, hence Radha is also known as Kritika. So this month is Kartik Damodar. This is the gopis singing the Gopi Geet. We often say Radha Damodar ki jai. However, Radharani does not seem to appear in this pastime, which is essentially between Yashoda Mai and Lord Krishna. There is another pastime actually, which only happened in Golok Vrindavan, not on Bhumi Vrindavan, where Radharani actually ties Krishna because he was late for one of the meetings. That is why we also say Radha Damodar, not just Yashoda Damodar. Yeah, so here's the Katha. However, in the Krishna Karnamrit, written by Bilva Mangal Thakur, is mentioned glorious pastime that happened in Golok Vrindavan. Once Radharani tied up Krishna, and Radha and Krishna had agreed to meet at a specific time, and Krishna came 2 hours late. Krishna said that he had been busy due to preparations of Govardhan Puja. He was trying to convince Radha sweetly, but Radha was really angry. So Radha took a golden belt from her waist and tied Krishna to a tree. Jiva Goswami mentions that Krishna was ecstatic with Radharani's anger. Due to being tied, Krishna is also called Damodar. This is an intimate pastime, so it does not occur in Bhuma Vrindavan. Therefore, we worship Yashoda Damodar and Radha Damodar in this month. In temples in Vrindavan, Radha and Krishna are tied with a thin golden rope from Radha's waist to Krishna's waist. This is especially seen in the Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan. It's so thin that you can't see it, so you have to ask pujaris to show it to you. This month is truly glorious, not only due to the aforementioned reasons, but also because many prominent pleasing pastimes of the Lord were performed in this month of Kartik. So the previous month ends with Sharad Purnima, when the Ras Leela was performed and the desires of all the gopis of Sri Krishna were fulfilled, and the offerings of lamp starts from that day. In this month, the gopis who never before attained the direct audience of the worshipful Lord, their very life and soul, Sri Krishna, were purified of all the traces of anarthas left in them by the intense heat of separation, and were able to fulfill their long-cherished heart's desire to attain the one and only goal, the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Other things that happened in this month is the demon Arisasura was killed, which led to the appearance of Radha Kund and Shyam Kund, 2 beautiful kunds at the foot of Great Govardhan Hill, having jeweled steps, blooming lotus flowers, and surrounded by the kunjas of the 8 prominent Sakhis. In the center, Swananda Shukha Kunj of Angamanjari, where the divine couple perform many enchanting pastimes. It's also believed that the original Radha Kund was actually formed was made in the month of Chaitra, not in Kartik, and we actually celebrate the appearance of Radha Kund in Kartik because that is when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually rediscovered where Radha Kund was. The Amavas of this auspicious month is celebrated as this Deepavali, the festival of lights, celebrating the long-awaited return of Lord Ram to his kingdom Ayodhya after the 14 years banishment and the war that waged between Ram and Ravan. All the devotees celebrate this beautiful festival by lighting lamps in all the corners of the houses and discussing the pleasing transcendental pastimes of Lord Ram. The next day of Amavas is celebrated as Govardhan Puja, and all the Vrajvasis, after stopping the worship of Lord Indra, in accordance to the instructions of Shyamsundar, worship Giri Govardhan, who is celebrated as Hari Dashwa Varya, the best of the Vaishnavas, who serves a divine couple with its many gushing streams, beautiful waterfalls, fragrant forest full of fruits and flowers, and caves suitable for various pastimes. This is what Govardhan actually was like when it was first manifested, when Krishna was here. We don't see that manifestation now when we visit Govardhan. Mother Cow is also worshipped on this day of Govardhan Puja, and all the Brijvasis perform the parikram of the glorious blessed mountain Govardhan. Following in the footsteps, devotees perform parikram of Giriraj Maharaj and offer Ankut to the deities. The Disappearance Day of Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the Hare Krishna movement. Without his mercy, we would know nothing about the supremely purifying month also occurred in this month of Kartik. And other auspicious days celebrated in this month are Gopashtami, when Sri Krishna goes for cow herding for the first time, Tulsi Viva, Bali Vaman Lila. That's when Vamandev appeared and defeated Bali's ego. The Kurma and Mohini also appeared in this month. A tear from Vishnu fell in the Amrit pot and Tulsi Devi appeared. So that's the day of, some sages say that's the day of Tulsi Viva as well. Krishna killed Keshi, Vyamasura and Kans in this month. A crew came to take Krishna to Mathura. Dhruv had darshan of Vishnu in Madhuvan in this month after meditating for 6 months. Amrish Maharaj also finished his year-long fast near Vishram Ghat in this month. Durvasa Muni, after fleeing from the Sudarshan, came back after 1 year to Amrish Maharaj. Radharani was coronated as Vrindavaneshwari at Imlital on this in this month as well. Govind Kund was formed after Surbhi did Abhishek of Krishna, and hence he got the name of Govind. And water is important due to Matsya Avatar also appearing in this month. So devotees actually bathe 3 times a day and remember this pastime as well. Radha Damodara also appeared, and Jiva Goswami was gifted the deity by Rupa Goswami in this month. Bhaktisiddhanta instructed Prabhupada at Radha Kund in 1935, and the instruction was, if you ever get books, if you ever get money, print books. So also this happened in the month of Kartik. Other things that happened also was Dhanvantari also appeared on the day of Dhanteras. Lakshmi Devi, as we mentioned, appeared and we do Lakshmi Puja on that day. Narakasura was killed in this month, and we have Bhishma Panchak, which is when Bhishma started fasting. So we have Bhishma Panchak, the last 5 days of Kartik in this month. And we have Uttan Ekadashi. That's the day the demigods actually wake up the Lord from his sleep of 4 months. So the Lord has been sleeping since Shayan Ekadashi, the start of Chaturmas. So he wakes up again. Matsya actually appeared because the Vedas were taken by Sankachuda. So Matsya rescued the Vedas and asked all the rishis to look after the Vedas, and that's when the Vedas were split up into the 4 Vedas. So what do devotees do every day this month? They offer ghee lamp or candle to Lord Damodar and to the sky. to reinforce that Krishna is everywhere and any ancestors are stuck anywhere get liberated. Sing the Damodara. Do extra rounds of the Maha Mantra. Worship Tulsi Devi. They read the 12th chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Recite the Gopi Geet, which we did yesterday. Take on a special fast. Some of the fast could be like no grains for the whole month, or just grains once a day. More bhakti and less gossip, less TV, less social media. And I said, Bhishma Panchak also appeared, and this is when Bhishma fasted for 5 days. So devotees also try and fast on these 5 days, which are the final days of the Kartik month. And Krishna has put all the potency of Kartik in these days. So if someone has not been able to do anything all month, then fasting on these 5 days is equivalent to fasting the whole month. Some of the other Shrutis or prayers that you could do also are the Gajendra Stuti, Sikshashtakam as well. And if you read one verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it said it merits recitation of the 18 Puranas. So you can read one verse of Srimad Bhagavatam every day. And that is very beneficial as well. So who is Damodar? So this name refers to Lord Krishna, who is described as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So on what basis is Krishna regarded as the Supreme? So there are 3 main sources of authorized knowledge. One is Guru, one is Sadhu, and one is Shastra. So based on these sources of knowledge below are some of the bases why Krishna is regarded as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord's supremacy is mentioned in revealed scriptures. Krishna is in charge of the Devatas. Krishna describes his position as the Supreme in the Bhagavad Gita. He demonstrates his divinity. His qualities are enumerated. The Lord's description is provided, especially in the Brahma Samhita, and description of Golok as well is described. The Lord's history dating back to billions of years is described in the scriptures, and the Supreme has been seen by purified souls. And the Lord's address in the spiritual world is also known. The Lord's supremacy is mentioned in revealed scriptures. So Vedic scriptures are the only scriptures that have existed since the beginning of time, written by the literary incarnation of God called Vyasadeva, thus regarded as eternal and absolute truth. Let me whiz through this and see if because we've been through some of these topics already, so I don't want to reiterate it now. Okay, so the Damodara Lila and the names of, according to revealed scriptures, there's one God, it's many forms. So Krishna has 2 types of names, primary and secondary. So the names of the Lord are all potent. The primary names, ones which describe the pastimes of the Lord, such as Govinda or Damodar, and are regarded as relatively more potent because they address the personal activities of Lord, thus are likely to attract the Lord's attention more. Secondary names describe the qualities of the Lord, such as Ishwar, which means controller, or Bhagwan, full of opulence, are considered relatively less potent than the primary names. They're addressing the Lord in a formal capacity. So the meaning of Damodar, Damo means rope, can also mean self-controlled. Udar means waste, can also mean that which is pure. So this refers to the glorious pastime where Krishna, the Supreme Lord, was tied by a rope around his waist by his mother. And how is it that Yashoda Mai was able to tie the Lord when the sun and moon are so scared off that they rise and set every day with the rope? The background to this wonderful pastime, in order to enjoy loving parents and pastimes, Krishna takes a mother and father, but not ordinary living entities. Common understanding is that Krishna appeared to Vasudeva and Devaki over 5,000 years ago. He appeared at midnight in a jail in Mathura, and his parents were requested him to hide his divinity and somehow leave Mathura. In response to this appeal, Krishna transformed his four-armed form to that of a baby. Invoking his illusory potency enabled Vasudeva to leave the prison with him unnoticed and cross the Yamuna river to Gokul. There in the house of Nand Maharaj, and unseen by anyone, Vasudeva exchanged his own son for the newly born daughter, Yogmaya, of Yashoda, and thus returned with the girl to the jail in Mathura. So I think most of us know this. So how did Yashoda and Devaki become mothers to the Lord? In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukdev Goswami describes the pastime of Maharaj Parikshit. Drone and Dara said, "Please permit us to be born on the planet Earth so that after our appearance, the Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead, the supreme control and master of all planets, will also appear and spread devotional service, the ultimate goal of life, so that those born in this material world may very easily be delivered from the miserable condition of materialistic life by accepting this devotional service." So when Brahma said, "Yes, let it be so," the most fortunate Drone, who was equal to Bhagwan, appeared in Rajpur, Vrindavan, as the most famous Nand Maharaj, and his wife Dara appeared as Mother Yashoda. So this, Supreme Person of God became the son of Nand Maharaj and Yashoda. Nand and Yashoda are actually eternal parents of Krishna, and Nand and Yashoda's partial expansion appear as the demigods Drone and Dara, who actually requested for the Lord to be born as their son. So who are Vasudeva and Devaki? Are they also eternal parents to the Lord? Vasudeva and Devaki appeared 3 times in this world. He appeared as a son to Prishna and Sutapa as Prishnigarh, and to Adipti and Kashyap as Upendra or Vamandev. So Vasudeva and Devaki are also eternal parents of Krishna. As Prishna and Sutapa, they also underwent austerities, but these austerities are simply expressions of the eternal love for the Lord, not the cause of getting the Lord as their son. So that begs the question that of the two, who are the actual parents of Krishna? From the statements of Bhagavatam and previous acharyas, it is clear that Nanda and Yashoda are eternal parents of Vrindavan Krishna in Rajdam, and Vasudeva and Devaki are eternal parents of Vasudeva Krishna in Mathura and Dwarka. So this is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a precursor to the Damodara Lila. So here Sukdev Goswami says, one day when Mother Yashoda saw that all the maid servants were engaged in other household affairs, she personally began to churn the yogurt. While churning, she remembered the childhood past activities of Krishna. In her own way, she composed songs and enjoyed singing to herself about all those activities. So it was actually the day of Diwali, which is the third day of a series of Diwali festivals. We have Dhanteras first, and we have Kali Chaudas on Narak Chaturdasi. Then you have Diwali, and then you have Govardhan Puja, and then Bhai Dooj. Those festivities had begun with the Brajvasis, cleaning and renovating the homes to receive Goddess Lakshmi, decorating the doorways with rangoli, putting ghee lamps everywhere. Early morning and the wonderful sounds of the birds chirping and cows moving were more delightful than the celestial Gayatri mantra chanted by the Brahmins. So Yashodhama lay in bed with her son. She wakes up slowly, looks at a beautiful child who is still sleeping. So he looks just like a blue lotus. She gently kissed his cheek and she gets up. So she goes to a bath chamber where there's only one of her maids waiting to assist her, and the other palace servants were preparing for Diwali. So after dressing herself, getting ready, she goes to look, gets the churns of milk, which are waiting to be churned, and she intends to use this milk as follows: half yogurt for tomorrow's butter, remaining half for sweets for boiling and condensing. Generally, the maids would make the various milk preparations. However, Yashodhama, having heard so many complaints against her dear son from the elder gopis about his pastimes as Makhan Chor, thought that he may possibly have become addicted to stealing butter produced by the neighbors. So to break that habit, she was thinking of preparing everything herself. So she poured the milk into a large pot on the stove, and from the yogurt that was prepared the previous day, she spooned the best part into a churn near the door of the bed chamber. And from there, she could see the boiling milk and Krishna, who at the same time while she's churning away. So this is a description of what she looked like, dressed in a saffron yellow sari with the belt tied about her full hips. Mother Yashoda pulled on the churning rope, laboring considerably. Her bangles and earrings moving and vibrating, and her whole body shaking. Because of her intense love for her child, her breasts were wet with milk. Her face, with its very beautiful eyebrows, was wet with perspiration, and multi flowers were falling from her hair. So she's churning away and singing glories of Krishna. She check on the milk, which is boiling on the stove, whilst also keeping an eye on her darling son, who is still resting. And Krishna wakes up and he sees that his mother is busy glorifying him. So he is ready to crawl out of bed to embrace her, but at the same time is relishing, enjoying seeing his mother's his mother glory of devotion, while she's taking so much care to serve him by making first-class makhan. So her mother glances over, but he quickly closes his eyes, pretending to be still asleep. So Yashodhama is still deep in absorption of Krishna, she forgets that Krishna might be awake or waiting for her milk. Okay, I think we'll stop there today, and then we can continue this pastime tomorrow. So, Yashoda Damodar ki jai. Any comments or any additions from anyone?